Hello, 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 sellers. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Let me just check and make sure my mic's turned on. And you'll let me know that you can hear me. Just let me know. Oh, come on in. It's so good to see everybody. I have been having such fun working with sellers, and I'm actually going to share on a super fast, easy tip to make more money, right? Selling on eBay. And I shared this with several sellers the other day, and only one of them have heard of it. So I was like, oh, I've got to go live and let people know about this. So come on in, come on in. It's a great tip that works for sellers and it can really help. So that's what we're going to talk about, which is making more money and something that is fast and easy for eBay sellers. So first question comes up is, how do I make more money selling on eBay? And an obvious one, of course, is to list more. And that's one that you hear very often. And if you haven't heard it, you're going to hear it, which is to list. But don't overwhelm yourself. Don't burden yourself. Because if you think about this, if you list one more listing a day, hey, Paula, how are you? That's 30 listings a month or more. That's 365 more listings a year. So every listing you get up, so don't beat yourself up, I'm here to encourage you, is a win and is helping you to get more sales. Now, in getting more sales, because people give you a lot of different strategies on this, it's important to get sales, right? We have to have sales. But in getting the sales, what you do want to keep an eye on is, what are my profit margins? And if you're not familiar with that term, what your profit margin is the cost of your item, and then your shipping and your eBay fees, and then how much money you're making. So it's great to get sales. And sometimes on Instagram and Facebook and other places, you'll see these piles of packages, which is wonderful. But how much money is that seller making? Sometimes that seller with just a few packages going out, because they've got killer margins on what they're selling, they're making $300, $400, or $500 in a day because they're selling higher ticket items with better profit margins. Other sellers, and this is not to knock, it's just everybody's business is different, have huge piles of things going out, but they're only making a few dollars on everything. So it looks fabulous, but sometimes that seller with a few less packages, they're actually making more money. Why? Because of their profit margin, how much they're making on each sale. And that's what I want to address with you, because there's a super quick, fast, easy way. Don't we love fast and easy? Where you can increase your profit margin, which is increase your take-home money. Hey, Paula, that you're bringing home after everything has gotten paid. Okay, you want to hear about it? Of course you do. So the first thing is, if you haven't heard about it, is to take a look at eBay's top-rated seller program. And if you're rolling your eyes and thinking, oh, Kathy, I know about the top-rated seller program, let me just explain a couple things that you may not have thought about with the top-rated seller program. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it. So for my newer sellers, this is something you do want to point yourself towards, which is becoming a top-rated seller. And if you listen to this, I'm going to explain to you why. And of course, you're going to want to become one too, because it is a way to increase your profit margins. Again, increase how much you're bringing home. So we take a look at the top-rated seller program. First of all, the account that you're selling on has to have been active for 90 days. So you have to have been on eBay for 90 days. And within that 90 days, 100 or more transactions and $1,000 in sales during the past 12 months with U.S. buyers. So you need to be active for at least 90 days and then 100 or more transaction and $1,000 in sale. You need to keep your defect rate, and you can see this all on Seller Hub, less or equal to 0.5%. And you're going to need cases closed without a seller resolution. And what that means is that a seller opened up a situation with you and you completely ignored them, which of course you never would do. You didn't address it. You didn't answer it. You didn't work on it. Okay. Closed without resolution means you ignored the buyer, which eBay doesn't want. And of course you don't want. So you're a wonderful seller and you've stayed on the platform and you've sold the correct metrics and you've given wonderful customer service. You don't ship late, because late shipping rate of less than or equal to 3%. Tracking uploaded within your stated handling time. And I need to repeat that, within your stated handling time. So become a top rated seller. You do not need to have same or 1 business day handling. You can qualify for a top rated seller with a 2 business day handling or a 3 business day handling, which I know some of my seller friends do. What is important is that the tracking is uploaded within your stated handling time. And I have worked with some sellers, and that's where they got themselves in trouble. They thought they had to do 1 business day handling. And because of their life circumstances, they have a job, because of elder care, taking care of kids, medical issues, they weren't able to do that. It is far better to have a handling time that you can meet than to set one that you're constantly not hitting the mark, because that's going to count against you, and you don't want that. The other thing is you can change it. So if you're going through a period in your life where you need a 3-day handling time, do it. And then when things have settled down or changed a bit, you can go back to the 1, and you do that in bulk editing. Okay, so very important that your tracking is uploaded within your stated handling time. And then eBay tells us once you meet these requirements, you're automatically upgraded you to top rated seller on your evaluation. And if I remember correctly, the evaluations are done on the 20th of the month, and you'll see it in Seller Hub. You'll see what your current status is. And I'm going to trust you guys are all above standard. It'll say that. And then it'll say what they're anticipating you to be in the next evaluation. And you'll see it right there. So, ta-da, you've become a top rated seller. Okay. You've met the metrics, and eBay has said, yay, Kathy, Paula, you are now a top rated seller. Now, where some sellers make an error is they think when they become top rated, they're automatically top rated plus, and they're not. And it is a little confusing. eBay does like to use certain language over and over again, like promoted. Same thing with top rated. So there's top rated, which means you've met those metrics. You've been on the platform long enough, good customer service, uploading tracking, helping your customers, okay? And you become a top rated seller status. Next is top rated plus. And this is the part that increase your profit margins. So again, it doesn't automatically happen. The profit margins don't increase when you become top rated. There's certain things you can do as a top rated plus seller that can increase your profit margin, which is how much money is going to be in your pocket rather than putting more money in eBay's pocket. Okay. And this is all about the top rated plus program. So now for top rated plus, you will need to do same or 1 business day handling. So if that's not feasible for you, you just sort of listen to this and just, keep it in mind from when that is feasible. So for top rated plus, I will need to do same or 1 business day handling. And remember, business day for eBay is Monday through Friday. It is not Saturday and Sunday. I need to do a 30-day or longer free returns with a money back option. Okay. And I can do this same or 1 business day handling and 30-day or longer free returns on any of my listings. I do not need to do it on all my listings. So let's say for free returns, I might be willing to do free returns on, I'm looking at my stuff, free returns on my pens, but I don't want to do free returns on my sneakers. You have that choice. So then the ones that I do free returns on with same and 1 business day handling, I'm top rated plus. And the ones that I don't, I'm top rated. I'm going to explain the benefit of this in just a second. So just hang tight. So you have choice. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. When you do this, same or 1 business day handling, free returns, we're going to talk about returns in a minute, with 30-day or better, if I'm a top rated seller, I now become top rated plus for those items. And the benefit to this, the reason I'm doing this, is you get a 10% final value fee discount. What does that mean? More money for me. That means the final value fee, 10% of that goes back in my pocket. eBay is saying to Kathy, because you're doing free returns with same or 1 business day handling, we are going to reward you with a 10% final value fee discount. Yay! More money for the seller. Yay, eBay. You have choice. You do not need to do it on everything. just the things that you want to do free returns on. We're going to address free returns in just a second. So I just want to talk to you. So this is the time where we get out our calculators. Do I have a calculator? I'm trying to look at, I have stuff all over here. I usually do. So get out your calculator. And this is what's going to blow your mind, because this is how you make even more money. So we're making more money because we've qualified as top rated seller and we're doing top rated plus. Now we're going to make more money. And this is how. You're going to do free shipping. And this is why. Now, it's not going to fit on everything. So everybody don't just say, oh, she told me I have to do free shipping on everything. No. So just, this is where you got to think. Is when you get the 10% final value fee discount, it is on the item price. Okay. It's not on the shipping. So if I'm selling the pen is $4. I'm just going to make it real simple. And the shipping is $4. If it's a top rated plus pen, I get a 10% final value fee discount on the $4, not the $8. The way you get the 10% final value fee discount on $8 is free shipping. Because when I have free shipping, the entire amount is the item price. So then I would get 10% off $8. I just made even more money. So I make more money being top rated plus, same or one business day handling, free returns, 30 days or better. I make even more money offering free shipping, because then that 10% final value fee discount comes off the entire amount. So then the question arises, when is it worth it to do free shipping? And typically it's lighter items like a pen. I mean, for some people, it's going to be under a pound, under 2 pounds. This is where you got to pull out postage scales, do your math, do your numbers, get your calculator. But particularly things that are under a pound, where it's going to be basically $4 or $5 shipping pretty much anywhere around the United States. And I am speaking for US sellers. So obviously doing free shipping if you're in Canada, UK is going to be a different situation. And again, get out the calculator, do the math. It's, get friends to help you with the math, but you'll figure it out. Heavier items, it will depend where you are. And I'm going to stick to the United States, but again, just factor it in for your nation. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New York City. So if I have a heavy item, I'm looking around for a heavy item in here, but if I have something that's 4 or 5 pounds, to ship it to California, it's going to be a chunk of change. I'm going to say maybe $15 or $20. Or to Texas. I'm trying to think where else, but basically California is going to be a chunk of change. If I live in the middle of the United States, if I live in Chicago, it's pretty much equidistant to everywhere. Okay. So it's going to be different. So then for a 4-pound thing, it's going to be pretty much the same to everybody. So free shipping for me, if I live in the middle of the United States, might work very nicely. So look at the weight of your items. Look at whether free shipping works for you. Hey, Melissa. And then look at free returns. And when eBay first brought up free returns, which was, gosh, I can't even remember. It was a while ago. I'm sort of blanking out on it like all good sellers. I remember thinking, you've got to be kidding, right? I was like, no free returns for me. Thank you very much, eBay. But I was like, and especially when they started to dangle the final value fee discount, I was like, I think it's time to do some math here. So this is how you do it. Go to your seller hub. I actually went and did this. Go to your seller hub. Go to performance. So you're going to be in your seller hub and you're going to find the performance tab. And when you find the performance tab, hover and find service metrics. This is letting you know how you're doing as a seller. Thank you very much. And it breaks it down by categories, which is why I'm sending you there. So you're going to Seller Hub, you're going to performance, you're going to service metrics. Okay. Then what you're going to do when you're in service metrics, you will see a lovely little drop-down menu and it will have all the categories that you sell in. Okay. So eBay store people, it's not your store category. It is the categories, the eBay categories you sell in. For instance, clothing, shoes, and accessories, collectibles, crafts, health and beauty, home and garden. You will click the various categories and you will look at it. And the great thing is eBay will tell you how many returns you got. I'm looking at this in the past 3 months. Okay. Then it will give you, it says past rate from July to September. Anyway, it gives you a bunch of different things you can sort and look at. So rather than guessing, like going, I think I got a bunch of returns in clothing, but I can't remember. Or, you know what? I don't think I get returns in clothing. I'm not really sure. Or collectibles or toys or plush or home decor, whatever it is. Go and look it up. And when I found out with some of my categories, like collectibles, I get zero returns, zero returns. So I'm a top rated seller. Let's do free returns. We'll do 30 days and we'll test it. What's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is all of a sudden I get several returns. Then I stop it. I go to bulk edit. I take away free returns and I don't do it anymore, because I have heard some people where they edit free returns and all of a sudden it kicked up their free returns, but not a lot. Most of the people I know that were testing the free returns in categories, remember we're doing this in categories where eBay is showing me I do not get returns. And for me, when I look at my collectibles, I do not get returns. So as a top rated seller, I do same or one business day handling and I do free returns and I see if I get it back. So let's say back to collectibles. Let's say I do it and let's say I get one back. Okay. So again, you don't go, Kathy told me about free returns. I tried it and I got a return. Look at what the dollar amount is. $3, $4. I mean, if it's more, if it was your heavy items, like ouchie, right? But let's say it's like $3 or $4. I got a $4 return. And let's say I've been doing free returns for 3 or 4 months. Look at how much you saved. Thank you, calculator. How much did I save? $10, $15, $20? And I took a hit for 4. I still came out ahead. I made more money. Okay. So that's why step 1, become a top rated seller. Then I become one. Yay! Step 2, what can I do same in one business day handling on, because maybe I can't do it on everything. And what can I do free returns on? Okay. And if I can't, if you're selling in categories where it's like, absolutely not, we just get a ton of returns, this is not the business model for us, don't do it. The great thing with eBay is you have a choice. Okay. But if you're like Kathy Terrell and you log in and you look at your service metrics, thank you, eBay, and I look, I never get returns in this category. Let's try it. Let's make more money and see how it goes. And again, remember, if you get 1 or 2 returns, especially if it's a high volume category, if it's something where you're selling several hundred a month, yay, if you are, right? I could probably take 1 or 2 returns and I'm still coming out ahead. When you talk about free returns, when you talk about make more money, it's just times when you're out, shall we say, in social media land, you'll hear people say some real horror stories. And face it, there are some challenging people out there, right? But the majority of our buyers are great people. They're fabulous. They're wonderful. And yeah, there are some stinkers out there that we're all going to run into, but they're not the majority. They're not the rule. So I just encourage you to be smart about who you're listening to. And when you do listen to the people that I call them the sky is falling people, realize that these are people where it's always drama. It's always terrible buyers, right? It's always terrible eBay. You go, okay, great. Maybe they're entertaining to listen to. I don't know. But always do your math, because it'll be different for everybody. Maybe for you, you do get returns in collectibles. Well, then maybe doing the top rated plus, the free returns isn't going to work for you. But again, if it's maybe one every 2 or 3 months, and I know some sellers that, God bless them, never get returns on anything, right? And it's usually more the unique collectible sellers where that's the case. Then absolutely, why not? Because with same or one business day handling, once you're a top rated seller, and free returns, 30-day or more, I make more money. Because the 10% final value fee discount is on the entire item amount. And again, if you sell very heavy things, or if you sell things for whatever reason where you're more comfortable charging for shipping, that's fine. Then it's not going to work for you on that. But look at things where you can roll the shipping in, you can do free shipping, and look at it that way. Again, why? Because it increases your margins. And when you increase your margins, you have a more profitable business. Again, that's why, the stacks of packages are great. but how much are you making on each package? Doing top rated plus, you are increasing how much money you're making on each package. And that is very, very good. So take a look at it, see if that works for you, because increasing your margins is huge. It makes your selling more profitable, which is great. So you can sell the same amount. This is what's really exciting. So let's say you sell $20,000 a year or $50,000 a year or $10,000 a year or $100,000 a year. You can sell the same amount. And because you're doing top rated plus on a chunk of your listings, you make more money. So your gross, the gross is the overall money that you're making is still the same or pretty much the same. But because your margins are better, you make more money. And that's a good thing. For the same amount of work, for the same amount of everything, you're making more money. I love this. Okay. So that was my great tip for you. Do hop over to my website. I love to be selling.com. I'm going to show this to you and take a look at my freebie guide for you. It is fall and winter essential products. And what it helps you with is when you're out and about sourcing of what things to be picking up right now, because there are things that are going to sell strong all through the winter that you can source, and that you can source in a variety of ways. The guide's completely free. If you don't know, I was in retail for over 25 years. That's why I wrap my head around this. Trust me, the brick and mortar retailers know their margins. They absolutely know their margins. They know their margins on every single item that's in the store. But grab my fall and winter essential products guide. It gives you all kinds of ideas that sell right now, sell all through the winter, that can be sourced thrift stores, consignment stores, out of your closets, and also from retail and from online. So hop on over to I Love to Be Selling and grab my free guide, Fall Winter Essential Products Guide, and let's increase your margins so you make more money. And it's a fast, easy way to make more money on eBay. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye. You're welcome, Melissa. I'm so glad it's helpful.